Hey friends, Greg here with the Pennywise guys. We finished installing the Mini Split air conditioning system. We have many videos showing you the whole process. Right now I'd like to show you how we install the inside evaporator unit. Let's get started. Okay, I've got the line pretty straight. I'm going to make a tighter bend over here. Once I get the connections done, then I'll make it the tighter bend and go down and get it to where I know how much length I need for the outside unit. I'm going to start with the quarter-inch line first. Be warned, it is a little bit loud. This is pressurized system, so there's some nitrogen in there. As soon as you take this off, it's going to go pop, or you'll hear it. Okay, you just release that nitrogen. The system was pressure tested with nitrogen, and they just left it in there for shipment. So you know, if you've got that noise, you know the system's not leaking. If it's no noise at all, I would be concerned that there's a leak in the system, and I would call for factory warranty, because that noise is a good thing. That means we don't have a leak. Okay, they have a line plug here. You need to pop that off. I don't know if you can see this, but we got to make sure that our pipes are straight on with each other. Okay. And everything is clean. I just took that off. Just make sure there's no debris. That looks good. The fitting looks good. So we're going to go ahead and make this connection first. I use the sealant. It's AC gasket and thread sealant. It doesn't contaminate AC systems. So what we're going to do is we're just going to put a little bit on the surface. You're not going to see this, but I got to see what I'm doing. Just a little bit. You don't want to put too much. Just get a little bit of around the seat or the flare. Okay. Just get a little bit. We don't want too much. It won't contaminate the system, but there's no sense in putting more than you need. Okay. Go ahead and line this up like that. The flare fits nice. Hand tight it first. Do not use the wrenches until you get this thing all the way seated by hand. As you're holding it straight, it should be very, very easy to turn. There it stopped. I know that I've made contact with the seat. I would recommend not using just 2 wrenches, but to get yourself an AC torque wrench. You can get these fairly cheap on Amazon. I think I paid for this one probably around $30, but it's worth it. I've done a lot of work with it, so it's been good to have. The instructions will tell you how much torque to put it. Set it at quarter-inch line. It's 18 to 20 newtons. Okay, so this one comes already in the newtons scale, so 18 to 20 newtons, and I'm gonna start at 18. I'll show you why in a minute. Get yourself a adjustable wrench as well to hold the fixed side, and then this thing only goes one way. You look it up here on the torque wrench. It shows you can only go this way with it. Okay, just make sure you're going the right direction. Go until you hear it click. Okay, let me go a little bit more. Get it on there. This is necessary to have this up like this, otherwise you wouldn't be able to work in here. Okay, there we go. Okay, it clicked. Okay, now I'm going to loosen it up. I tightened it up, just slightly loosened up, and now I will set it for 20 Newton. So go to 19 and 20. Okay, start at 18, finish it up. So tighten it down, loosen it up a little bit, and tighten it again. Okay, what that's doing is when you're the first torquing, it's seating the flares together, and that sealant and everything's working together. And then when you loosen up and do it again, now you can get a true torque on it, and it should be fit. Just go with you hear it click. Okay, heard it click, and you're done. Do not over tighten it. Do not go more than 20 newtons on that. It says 18 to 20, start at 18, go to 20. That one is done. We'll do a pressure test what I'm going to do is I'm going to evacuate the system when we're all done with the vacuum pump. And if it can hold a vacuum for quite a period of time, then we know that these aren't leaking. And if you suspect that they're leaking, put a little bit of refrigerant in and do a soap test before you put all of it in. But if it's not leaking with a vacuum, we should be good to go. Okay, the 1/2 inch one, go ahead and take off the cap. It's a little tougher. Okay. Don't have my pair of pliers, but I think I can use this wrench. There we go. The pressure's already been released on this, okay, so you won't have the same noise. This one is set at 49 to 59. Okay. That's 42. 7, 8, 9. We'll start at 49. Okay. That's at 49. I'm gonna pop off the 7mm or 17mm. We're gonna pop on the 24mm. Make sure it goes on. It tells you which way this goes and which way to torque it. Okay, it's really, really important. All right, we got to make sure. Now, what I did originally, I cut these insulation away so I can do this, and I'll add insulation back when I'm done. I cut some insulation off here so we can work on this, and then we'll insulate it once we're all finished and we know there's no leaks. Okay. Make sure you have the leaks covered first before we do any insulation, because you won't be able to test it. Okay, I'm just inspecting the flare. Looks good. Looks good there. Okay. Make sure you have clean hands because you don't want to contaminate. I'm going to go ahead and put some AC sealant on the 1/2 inch. Just enough to. What this is doing is taking care of micro scratches. Okay, it won't take up big scratches, but micro scratches, because this, it's on the 410A mini splits. The pressures on the heat mode get up to about 400 psi. That is a lot of pressure, and micro scratches, it will leak. And so, by putting a light coating of this AC sealant, okay, will help to take care of those micro scratches. But I don't see any scratches, but it's amazing. Okay, we've got to get this up here like that. Hold it in place while I spin it. Make sure. Oh, okay, the unit just moved. Okay, I'm going to stop the video and I'm going to reset this unit. I was pulling too hard, so I'm not going to let that drop. I'll reset. I went ahead and got it. It came off. There's two hangers on it. This one still had it. This one didn't. That's why I had to stop real quick, get it hung back on there. So I had to kind of pull this together. It wasn't quite joining, so that's what was my problem. So be careful with that. I went ahead and got it joined together after I reset it, and I finger tightened it. So tightened it. We're going to go ahead and torque this at 49. It's just going to take a little bit more pressure here to get this torqued down. Make sure you go the right direction with your torque wrench. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get another bite on it. Okay, let's try it again. There we go. Got a click? Okay, we're going to loosen it back up. Just slightly, just maybe a quarter turn. Okay. Now we're going to set this at, I don't know if we need to go to 59, that's the range. Excuse me, I'll go to about 55 or so. I'm at 49. Sorry about the cough. Okay, I'm at 49. I'm going to back this down to 42 and then count it again. If you don't know how to use these, go online. You can see how to use it. But you start 42 has to match the 42, and then you click. You count from there. So when I had it at 18, I had 18 matching 18, then 19, 20, 20, and then just count it. Okay, so 42, 43, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 52, 53, 54, 55. Now let's just go. Now let's tell you what. I'm going to stop at 55. I'm comfortable with that. That's in the range. All right. I just don't want to over tighten it. We're good to go at 55. Okay, we'll go ahead and tighten this back down. Okay, and we'll start torquing it. Okay, click, stop. Okay, those two are done. Now, what we got to do is route these lines. We want to have the drain on the bottom. Oh, actually, first of all, I knocked this. This has got a knockout on both ends. It's got little tabs. I just take a hacksaw blade and just cut through the tabs, cut that piece off, and now I have a place for it to go to the side. You can go that way, in the back, or to the side. And I'm going to this side because I'm going to go down the floor over here. Okay, the drain I want down as low as possible because you don't want it starting low and then going up and down. Then you'll actually have puddling there and you might have a leak. So we want this to be at the bottom as much as we can. So right now I'm going to go ahead and pull the, lift this up carefully. I'm going to pull this block out and we're going to start routing these lines back up in there. And this is where it's going to be a little tricky. Okay, we got to get these lines up above the mounting bracket, the latch part of the mounting bracket. I got to have a little bit more line here. Pull this up and start to straighten this out. Okay. Get this above the bracket there. And I gotta make sure you get the electrical line behind it. Oh, gotta make sure you don't pop that off. Okay, that would be a disaster. So take your time. Get the electrical line put behind those. Okay, and then these are above the latching bracket. Make sure it's straight. Okay, and then the drain line can come in right here like that. Let's see if that's gonna work. Figured out why I was being so stubborn. Remember when it almost fell off and when I put it back up, the unit got shoved down a little bit, so the clip wasn't lining up with the bracket. So I just basically shifted over about an inch, got that back, alignment back, snap, snap, and now it's up there. Okay, so if you can see this, we have the 1/4 inch line, the 1/2 inch line, the electrical line behind it, we have the drain line at the bottom, and that's what we want. Okay, at this point, I'm going to straighten this out and get a bend over here that's going to be fairly tight because we're going to be putting a 2-inch elbow, and we got to get it bent to where it'll fit into that elbow. Make sure when you make the bends, you do them gently. Don't go kink right there in the middle. You kind of work it and get a gradual bend, but we're going to do a real tight bend here at the end. I'm not going to do it right now until I get the line set cover built, but I'll leave enough material or enough line set to make that bend and get this all straightened out. Okay, I will do that later. The outside, we're going to cut the line down about 3 or 4 feet. I'll show you how to reflare the fittings, how to make those flares proper. The 16-foot line sets is standard. It's pre-charged with enough to accommodate 16 feet. You can cut about 4 to 6 feet off without causing a problem. The more you cut off, you have a little bit of overpressure problem, but it won't be too bad. If you stay around 3 or 4 feet, you're perfectly fine. So I'm gonna get down there. I'll have enough material on that line set to make that bend, and I'll get it routed to the compressor with still enough slack so I can get this all done and then tuck up the rest underneath. So instead of having 3 feet of extra material and having to deal with that, I can play with an extra foot of material or lines and bend it and get it up underneath the trailer. Now hopefully that makes sense. we're pretty much done for right now on the inside. We're all completed. The system is working beautifully. Great temperatures, both heating and air conditioning. Looks very, very nice. There's the cabinet on the one side, and the light and set cover there, and the cabinet on this side. Let me show you inside here where the line set is. So the line set cover goes through the cabinet and down through the cavity there and down to the floor. Through the hole in the floor, and it looks very nice, nicely disguised. We have the 1/2 inch PVC pipe hiding all the wires that come down from the ceiling. Through a 3/8 slot in the back, we pop the wires in, zip tie them to hold them in, and get that into that cavity where all the wires are at. Okay, and the fix on the ceiling, we did the wires through the ceiling. It turned out real nice. A little hard to tell right now because of the light condition, but it turned out really good. Alright, so we're completed. I hope this helps. Check out other videos on the whole process of the cabinetry work, custom framing, all the mounting, all the hookups and everything. So I hope this helps you in your future projects. Have a blessed day. I pray that you are blessed and that you know Him who is the author of life.